1 week in Poland. News, comments, events, everything you need to know about the country you live in. Hello everybody, welcome to a new episode of 1 Week in Poland, the broadcast of IMI Radio, which tells you what's happened in the country in the last 7 days. My name is Fabio Turco, I am an Italian journalist living in Warsaw, and I will take you to discover the news and the facts of the last week. As usual, in the second part of the broadcast, we'll be more focused about Warsaw, the events, the concerts, what you can do during the weekend, hang out and enjoy this vibrant city. But let's start with the news, because the first part is about that, and we start as it happens very often in the last weeks from the border. Poland's foreign minister has said that Belarusian side is not cooperating in the search for the murderer of a Polish soldier who was stabbed by a person attempting to enter Polish territory through the country border with Belarus. You will remember probably this tragic event which occurred at the end of May when a soldier was stabbed by a migrant across the border with a fatal outcome. During a press conference on Monday, the foreign minister Radosław Sikorski announced that a diplomatic note containing demands for the Belarusian authorities to determine the identity of the murderer and convey it to the Polish side had been referred to the country's charge d'affaires. According to Sikorski, the response from Belarus was entirely unsatisfactory. He said instead of searching for the murderer and handing him over to us, they responded with accusation about Poland supposedly ceasing cooperation between border guards of both countries. Unfortunately, we don't expect good cooperation from the Belarusian side, Sikorski added. Poland has been dealing with a gradually escalating crisis at its eastern border due to organized transporting of migrants and refugees to the region by the Belarusian government in a move to retaliate for EU sanctions on Minsk by imposing increased migration pressure on Poland and Lithuania and in turn the European Union. Each day, hundreds of people try to cross the Polish-Belarusian border in the hope of entering the European Union. As a result, they end up stranded on the border without appropriate living conditions. And we remain on the border because the detention of soldiers who fire towards migrants trying to cross Poland's border from Belarus was not only justified but also indispensable in view of the established facts. This is the statement from the commander of Poland's military service. His remark came in response to an inquiry from the Human Rights Commissioner, whose office is investigating the detention of 3 soldiers who reportedly fired warning shots into the air and ground around a group of 50 people, made up of men aged 20-30 who had forced their way onto the Polish side of the border. 2 of the soldiers were later charged with exceeding their powers and endangering the lives of others. Politicians from both the ruling coalition and opposition have criticized the actions of military police and prosecutors. Following the outcry, Deputy Human Rights Commissioner Stanisław Trociuk asked the head of the military police, Tomasz Kaiser, for explanation regarding the manner and the circumstances of the soldier detention, including the use of handcuffs. In response, Kaiser said that he had appointed a team composed of senior officers to assess the legitimacy and correctness of the actions taken by the military police during the detention of the soldiers. It had found that their actions were justified and necessary implementation of the military police duty to secure evidence in connection with suspected crimes and had been carried out in accordance with the applicable procedure. Now we change topic because Poland will likely spend 4.12% of its GDP on defense this year, the most in the whole alliance, as a NATO estimate has shown. Poland is expected to be followed by Estonia with 3.43% of GDP to be spent on defense, and the US with 3.38%. Belgium, Luxembourg, Slovenia and Spain, which occupy the opposite end of the ranking, will each spend just 1.3% of their GDP on defense. Latvia and Greece are expected to exceed the 3% threshold this year, while 18 other NATO allies will spend at least 2% of their GDP on defense, in line with the bloc's recommendation. Poland will channel 51.1% of its defense expenditure this year to equipment, 29.5% to military personnel, 14.8% to operations and maintenance, and 4.5% to infrastructure. Two alleged members of Russian private military company Wagner Group will stand trial in Poland on charges including terrorism. If found guilty, the men, who are both Russian citizens, face up to 10 years in prison. Prosecutors announced on Friday that the pair had been indicted for crimes including participating in the activities of foreign intelligence and participating in an international armed group aiming at committing terrorist offenses. The suspects were first detained in August last year by Poland's Internal Security Agency, ABW, with the Interior Minister at that time saying that had been distributing propaganda materials of the Wagner Group in Krakow and Warsaw. Before that, posters encouraging people to join the Wagner Group had appeared in public places in those cities. Shortly after being arrested, the two Russian men were charged and placed in pretrial detention, where they have remained since. In a statement, the National Prosecutor's Office said that the defendants recruited Polish citizens and foreigners residing in Poland for mercenary military service prohibited by international law. For this purpose, they put up at least several hundred recruitment seekers that enable direct contact with other people responsible for recruitment and organization. Poland's National Health Fund, NFZ, has imposed a fine of 550,000 Polish zloty, around 125,000 euro, on a hospital for denying a patient the right to a legal abortion. The hospital in the central town of Pabianice is the first in Poland to be fined for refusing to terminate a pregnancy under new government regulation that require publicly funded health centers to provide such a procedure. Hospital managers say the abortion was not performed because the woman did not provide a complete set of documents with diagnostic test results qualifying her for the procedure. Last month, the Health Ministry issued a regulation stipulating that healthcare providers who receive public funds for providing obstetrics and gynecology are obliged to offer abortions. Hospitals that fail to do so can be fined up to 2% of the value of their contract with the National Health Fund, the NFZ, the body that finances public healthcare in Poland. In the most serious cases, the NFZ can terminate its contract with the hospital. At the moment, the NFZ does not carry out general checks on whether hospitals offer abortion as required. However, it does carry out inspection at facilities that have been subject to a complaint from a patient regarding failure to offer legally required procedures, and this was the case. The Pabianice Medical Center has vowed to appeal the decision. Almost half of those who voted for Poland's ruling coalition are disappointed that it has not yet followed through on its promise to liberalize the country's abortion law. So we stay on the same topic. Meanwhile, over half of young Poles who voted in a record number last year say that are disappointed. The findings come from a new poll conducted by Ipsos for news outlets Oko Press and Talk FM. They asked respondents how they feel about the fact that since forming a government in December, the ruling coalition has not changed the abortion law. Among those who identified as voters for the three groups that make up the coalition, 44% said that they are disappointed because there was supposed to be the right to abortion on demand up to the 12th week of pregnancy, but there still is not. However, 37% were less critical, saying that the ruling coalition is working as best as it can under existing conditions. Liberalization of the abortion law has been delayed, in particular by disagreement within the ruling coalition. Two of its members, the centrist Civic Coalition and the left, want to introduce abortion on demand up to 12 weeks. However, the center-right Third Way prefers instead a less dramatic liberalization that would allow abortion in only 3 circumstances: if pregnancy threatens the mother's life or health, if it results from a criminal act, such as rape, or if a birth defect is diagnosed in the fetus. Opinion polls show that a large majority of the Polish public want the current near-total ban on abortion to be ended and a more liberal system to be introduced. However, they are divided over whether they favor the introduction of abortion on demand or a compromise of the type proposed by Third Way. And now we change topic. We speak about a new law that came into force the past Monday, and this is the law which obliged the whole Polish driver, the people who drive a car, the foreign people who drive a car, to obtain the Polish driver license within 185 days. They move to Poland. The move is meant to increase the security of passengers after numerous sexual crimes were committed by foreign taxi drivers in Poland in recent years. The Ministry of Infrastructures told PAP, the Polish press agency. The other objective is to block drivers who don't meet the national requirements. Polish police have praised the new regulations. For us, the change is important because the driver's license issued in Poland are listed in Polish IT system, said Robert Opas from the traffic office of the police headquarters. So police will now be able to see clearly whether the driver has the appropriate license. This was the Opas statement. The new restrictions on ride-sharing drivers were approved last year under Poland's previous government and went into force this week on June 17th. They require that such drivers have a Polish license and only allow foreigners to apply for a license once they have resided in Poland for 185 days. Within the days of the measure going into force, ride-sharing firms claim that they were seeing a big decline in the number of available drivers. One provider, FreeNow, says it has lost 15% of its drivers. Bolt reports that it now has 26% fewer drivers in Warsaw. However, Uber believes it has found a loophole in the law that allows it to take up to 3 months to verify documents of existing drivers who can continue working in the meantime. And now a survey. 63% of Poles are in favor of a 4-day work week, though only 24% would be willing to accept a reduction in their salary. This was revealed by a recent poll. In exchange for maintaining their full salaries, 73% of respondents expressed a willingness to work 10-hour days. The survey conducted by the Ariadna Research Panel also found that 50% of Poles believe that a 4-day work week should be introduced in the country. Support for such a move is particularly strong among young people, with 61% of those aged 18-34 in favor to compared to 37% among those over 55. Additionally, 60% of full-time workers support the idea, with no significant differences in support based on education or gender. The survey revealed that if a 4-day work week were introduced, 76% of respondents would prefer working 10 hours a day to retain 100% of their current salary. Conversely, 24% would opt for an 8-hour day with 80% of the salary. The survey also explored how Poles would use the extra day off. The largest group, 35%, say that they would spend more time with their children and family, while 31% would travel and visit new places. Something cultural now. Hollywood actor and filmmaker Jesse Eisenberg has unveiled a trailer for his new film, A Real Pain, describing it as a love letter to Poland. Hi Poland, this is Jesse Eisenberg. I'm so excited to share the trailer for my new movie, A Real Pain, with you, Eisenberg said in the trailer. The film is a sentimental and humorously sarcastic story about an American of Polish descent traveling to the land of his ancestors. The dramedy, filmed entirely in Poland, tells the story of two vastly different cousins, David, Jesse Eisenberg, and Benji, Kieran Culkin, who travel together to Warsaw, Lublin, Krasnystaw, Łódź, and Majdanek to honor their beloved grandmother and the victims of the Holocaust. During their journey, they not only uncover previously unknown places and facts about their family history, but also attempt to mend their strained relationship. Jesse Eisenberg based the film's concept on his own family's experiences, addressing the theme of intergenerational trauma. He wrote the screenplay, starred in one of the leading roles, and made his directorial debut with this independent movie produced by Emma Stone under the Fruit Tree banner. The creators did not shy away from humorously addressing sensitive topics and mocking harmful stereotypes about Polish-Jewish relations. According to RollingStone.com, the premiere of A Real Pain is scheduled for October 18. And now the page dedicated to sport, unfortunate page, because Poland national team have crashed out of the European Championship after France and the Netherlands played out 0-0 yesterday night in the second Group D game of Euro 2024. Previously, the Polish team lost 1-3 to Austria in its second game, results that put it at the risk of an early exit from the Continental Championship in Germany. At that point, Poland still had the theoretical chance of going through the last 16, despite being the last in their group, but it needed a win by the Netherlands over France, and unfortunately, it didn't occur. After 2 rounds of matches, France and the Netherlands are level on 4 points at the top of the group standing, with Austria on 3, will Poland have no points and cannot advance to knockout stages of the tournament. The match in Berlin against Austria saw Poland battle hard but succumb to their better organized opponents. The only goal for Poland came from striker Krzysztof Piątek in the 30th minute. The Austrian team scored goals through Gernot Trauner, Christoph Baumgartner and Marko Arnautovic. In the opening group stage fixture on June 16, Poland lost 1-2 to the Netherlands. In that match, Poland took the lead in the 16th minute with a header from Adam Buksa. However, the Netherlands equalized in the 29th minute with a goal from Cody Gakpo, And the decisive goal came in the 83 minute when Wout Weghorst scored, securing the win for the Netherlands. Now the Polish team will face France in their farewell Euro 2024 game on Tuesday. This was the last news of the first part on 1 week in Poland, the part dedicated to the general news. Now we have a song, but stay with us because in the second part we speak about Warsaw. See you later. Kult Pocovolność. Pocovolność is a legendary song from a legendary band, The Cult. Welcome back to the second part of 1 week in Poland, the broadcast by IMI Radio, which tells you what happened in the last 7 days in the first part, while in the second part gives you some news and suggestion about Warsaw. So let's start this second part. I want to share with you something important related to something called budget obywatelski. Budget obywatelski is the civic budget or the participatory budget. From June 15 to June 30, the residents of Warsaw can vote for the projects of their choice as part of the participatory budget. So what is it? Ideas and initiatives of Warsaw residents were submitted in the participatory budget from December 2023 to the end of January this year. These are ideas to improve the life in the own neighborhood or in the city. Then they were verified by employees of the town hall and municipal units in terms of formal and substantive correctness in accordance with the regulations. Thanks to the participatory budget, residents will decide what to spend part of Warsaw budget on. Every year, Warsaw residents come up with and submit projects and then vote on those that will be implemented. So, as I said, the vote started on June 15 and will last until June 30. So, till the end of the month, we still have time. You can cast your vote in two ways, online or by paper. The first option makes it much easier to familiarize yourself with all the offers. By the way, as suggestions, take your time because it takes around 20 minutes, half an hour to read the description of the project. The list of winning ideas will be announced on July 16 and the implementation of the project selected in the 11th edition will begin in 2025. This year, the capital city of Warsaw encouraged you to participate in the Pass It On competition. People who convince as many residents as possible to vote have a chance to win unique prizes. Details about the competition can be found on the official website of the participatory budget, bo.um.warszawa.pl. So I encourage you to participate because it's very important to have the possibility to choose the best for the own neighborhood, for the own city. Another news from Warsaw. The municipality of Warsaw has called on drivers to ensure that they are prepared for the introduction next month of a clean transport zone that will ban older cars from the city center. It is the first such measure implemented anywhere in Poland. The municipal authorities have launched a website allowing people to check if their car is among those that will now be barred. However, they insist that only around 3% of vehicles will currently be affected by the measures. Last year, Warsaw announced that from the 1st of July 2024, it would ban diesel cars over 18 years old and petrol cars over 27 years old. Those thresholds will then be gradually lowered in the next stages of the project to ban even younger cars. Eventually, by 2032, diesel cars over 11 years old and petrol cars over 17 years old will be banned. The clean transport zone covers an area of 37 kilometers square, representing 7% of the city. It includes the entire Śródmieście district at the heart of Warsaw, as well as parts of the adjacent Wola, Ochota, Saska Kępa, Grochów, and Praga neighborhoods, Praga Północ and Praga Południe. The aim of the ban is to reduce the negative impact of transport emissions of human health and the environment. Poland has some of Europe's most polluted air, with vehicle emissions one of the leading causes. City Hall estimates that despite excluding only 3% of vehicles, the first stage of the project will already significantly diminish harmful substances in the air, with nitrogen oxide expected to fall by 11% and particulate matter by 20%. One important exception is that those residing in Warsaw and paying taxes in the capital will be exempt from meeting the requirement of the zone in the first two stages of its introduction, meaning until January 2028. So be aware, check if you own an old car, if you are included in this exclusion zone. And now we approach to the part dedicated to the events. Today, probably no, and yesterday it was the first day of summer, 21st of June. Today, 22nd, there is the very important festival recurring every year in Warsaw, Festival of Wianki nad Wisłą. It's beloved by the inhabitants of Warsaw, and it will take place in Podzamcze in Warsaw, so below the royal castle. This is one of the largest outdoor events in the capital city, which is also the beginning of summer in Warsaw. Has been attracting crowds of interested people for almost 30 years. Also this year, Warsaw residents will be able to enjoy many attractions related to the traditions and the ritual of Kupala night. And the whole event will culminate in a concert of top Polish stars titled Wianki nad Wisłą, Sounds of Freedom. So we can read on the description of the event on onet.pl. Wianki nad Wisłą is a huge outdoor undertaking that for one day changed Warsaw as we know into a traditional Slavic settlement whose inhabitants cultivate ancient rituals, release rats on the Vistula, and taste ancient specialties. This year's Wianki nad Wisłą celebration, like every year, will begin with a picnic attraction for the whole family. Participants will be able to take part in workshop on weaving wreaths from leaf flowers, but also try their hand at Slavic handcraft, felting with worsted wool and create unique floral decorations using this method. Traditionally, the picnic participants will create a huge wreath together, which will flow down the Vistula, bringing the news of the beginning of summer. During the event, there are dance and singing shows performed by folks group. The people of Piotrków will perform on the picnic stage, and in addition to singing with a live band, will organize a show and folk dance workshops as well as an original performance entitled Sobutka Right. In addition, we'll see a performance by the village heads. We will prepare a show called Matches for the gathered audience, humorously showing a wedding costume as well as a concert of folk singers and Saturday dances around the bonfire. Speaking about the top artist that will sing on the main stage this evening. Apropos, there will be a broadcast live on TVN at 9:35 p.m. Top Polish artists which will exhibit on the stage are Zalewski, Vito Bambino, Mary Spolsky, Bowska, Baranowski, Walusz Kraksa-Kryzys, Wiktor Dydua, Paluk, Urszula, Felicjan Andrzejczak, and WW. So during Wianki nad Wisłą, there will be a special marked zone for people with disabilities, equipped with a platform for wheelchairs user and an induction loop for the hearing impaired. So I encourage you to join this event. It's really something unique in Warsaw. Every year it recurs, but it's really a special event. Another event I want to not to sponsor, I wanted to advise for tomorrow. For tomorrow is the premiere of a film, of a movie, Jarocin 8424. It will be held in Praga Centrum, in Szwedzka Street 2/4, starting from 16. So, what is it? If we speak about Jarocin, you know what is Woodstock. Woodstock in the US. Well, Jarocin is something very similar. It was a very important festival during the year of the Polish Popular Republic, the PRL, started in the 70s. It lasted until the beginning of the 90s. It was like an island of freedom in Poland during very harsh and grey times. So, reading the descriptions, the year is 1984. Poland is ruled by General Jaruzelski and the government spokesman is Jerzy Urban. The cheerful revolution of solidarity trampled by martial law turned into apathy, dullness, and apathy dominated the entire country. except for one place, Jarocin. This is, Jarocin, by the way, is on the west of Poland. This is where 20,000 young people gather on the campsites. It wasn't politics or ideology that brought them there. Music, fashion, and rebellion brought them there. This is a collection of colorful birds from all over the country. 40 years later, the authors of the YouTube channel Czarne Historie talk to the participants of that event. Thanks to recorded conversation and archival recordings, a collage of the years 1984-2024 was created. So, what does Youthful Rebellion look like from the perspective of 40 years later? Well, you will find if you go to watch Jarocin 84-24 tomorrow at Praga Centrum at 4 p.m. This was the last news for today, but stay with us because at 2 p.m. there will be Natalie Che with a shooting backstage. I want to thank you for staying with IMI Radio for 38 minutes. It's 1 p.m. and 38. Thank you to Michał for the technical assistance. And now, see you later. In the 7 days, I leave you with a song by the legendary band Armia. Speaking about Jarocin, the song is Niezwyciężony. Unbeatable. Bye bye.
Ktoś mnie podgląda, lekko skrobie do drzwi, strasznym okiem cyklopa raci gromi drzwi. Mój jest ten kawałek podłogi. Nie mówcie mi więc, co mam robić. Mój jest ten kawałek podłogi. Meble już połamałem, nowy ład zrobić chcę. Tym ze ścian już strapałem, zamurować czas drzwi. Mój jest ten kawałek podłogi. Nie mówcie mi więc, co mam robić. Mój jest ten kawałek podłogi. Skończyłem, głód do wyjścia mnie pcha. Prężę się i napinam, lecz mur stoi jak stał. Mój jest ten kawałek